The Odyssey is an epic poem that tells the long, perilous return journey of the Greek hero Odysseus after the Trojan War. More than a tale of adventure, it is a profound meditation on homecoming, nostos, identity, cunning intelligence, loyalty, temptation, and the relationship between human beings and the gods. The poem unfolds through a complex structure, weaving past and present together, and shows how a man is tested not only by monsters and storms, but by time, memory, and desire. The epic opens not with Odysseus himself, but with his absence. Nearly 10 years after the fall of Troy, Odysseus has not returned to Ithaca. His palace is overrun by arrogant suitors who feast on his wealth and pressure his faithful wife, Penelope, to remarry. Their son, Telemachus, has grown up without his father and is uncertain of his own place in the world. Encouraged by the goddess Athena, Telemachus sets out on a journey to seek news of Odysseus, visiting Nestor and Menelaus. This Telemachy is a coming-of-age story that mirrors Odysseus's own journey. Before the father can reclaim his home, the son must begin to claim his identity. Odysseus's own story is then told largely in retrospect, as he recounts his adventures to the Phaeacians. After leaving Troy, his fleet is blown off course, and his troubles begin almost immediately. He and his men sack the city of the Cicones, only to be driven away. They encounter the Lotus Eaters, whose fruit causes forgetfulness, threatening the very idea of homecoming. On the island of the Cyclops Polyphemus, Odysseus displays both his brilliance and his fatal flaw. His cunning saves him, but his pride leads him to reveal his name, provoking the lasting wrath of Poseidon. As the journey continues, Odysseus faces temptations that test self-control and wisdom. Aeolus gives him a bag containing all the winds, but his crew's suspicion ruins the gift. The cannibalistic Laestrygonians destroy most of his ships. On Circe's island, his men are transformed into swine, and Odysseus must rely on divine help and restraint to rescue them. From Circe, he learns that true wisdom requires facing death itself, and so he journeys to the underworld, where he speaks with the dead. There he learns the cost of heroism, hears warnings about the dangers ahead, and encounters the shades of fallen heroes whose glory did not save them from mortality. Forewarned, Odysseus survives the sirens by binding himself to the mast, hears their song without succumbing, and narrowly passes between Scylla and Charybdis, choosing the lesser of two evils. Yet his men's final act of disobedience, slaughtering the sacred cattle of the sun god Helios, brings disaster. Zeus destroys the ship, and Odysseus alone survives, like drifting to the island of the nymph Calypso. There he remains for years, offered immortality and ease, yet longing for his mortal home, his wife, and his human life. This choice defines Odysseus, flawed and weary, but committed to being human rather than divine. Released at last by the gods, Odysseus reaches the land of the Phaeacians, where he is received with generosity and honor. After telling his story, he is finally conveyed home to Ithaca, but homecoming is not simple. Disguised as a beggar by Athena, Odysseus must test loyalties and endure humiliation. He reveals himself only gradually to his son Telemachus, to his old nurse Euryclea, and eventually to Penelope, who tests him in return. Recognition and agnosis becomes a central theme. True identity is revealed not by appearance, but by memory, character, and shared knowledge. The climax comes with the destruction of the suitors. In a carefully planned act of justice rather than mere revenge, Odysseus strings his bow, something no suitor can do, and with Telemachus and a few loyal servants, kills the men who have violated the sacred laws of hospitality. Order is restored to Ithaca, but the poem does not end simply in triumph. The final movement stresses reconciliation and restraint, as Athena intervenes to prevent endless cycles of bloodshed, reminding both gods and humans that harmony, not violence, is the true end of justice. In the end, the Odyssey is a story about the long road back to oneself. Odysseus is not the strongest of heroes, but the most resourceful, adaptable, and human. His journey shows that wisdom is learned through suffering, that home is defined by love and loyalty rather than comfort, and that a good life requires endurance, self-knowledge, and reverence for limits. The poem's lasting power lies in its recognition that the greatest adventures are not only across seas and islands, but within the human soul.